Well, I've done it again. I have purchased another vehicle. I think I'm up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 9. 9? 10? 9, whatever. 10, maybe. Something like that. But I've purchased another vehicle. Now, you guys know I'm Bulgarian. And this is the most Balkan-esque W211 you can buy because it may look like a regular E-Class, you know, non-AMG, none of that stuff. Clearly not an E55 or an E63. No, this is the car. This is an E320. Now you may be asking yourself, you have an E55 which is supercharged, modified, and it needs a new engine because the block's kind of messed up. But why have you bought another 211? And why would you buy a base model E320? But this is not just any E320. Avid viewers already know what I'm going to say. This is an E320 CDI. This is not the naturally aspirated 3.2 liter V6. This is the inline-6 turbo diesel motor, which was only sold in the United States for 2 years. 2005, exactly like this car is, and 2006, making it one of the rarest W211s that you can own. Now, rarer than this is probably an E55 wagon, one of my dream cars, but this is also a super rare car. Now, what I did, or what my intention was with this car, is I bought it as a daily driver. Now, again, another question you're going to shoot out is, Evo, you have the E63. Why do you need another daily? Well, because the E63 gets like 15 miles a gallon or 16 miles a gallon, because every time I drive it, I like putting my foot down because it's stupid fast. But this was dirt cheap and I couldn't pass up. I've always wanted an E-Class with this motor, and this thing just came up and I was like, I gotta buy it. And when I get into a little bit more into the details, you guys will see exactly what I mean. But I had to buy this car. I mean, it was the deal of a lifetime. So I guess in today's video, obviously it's an introduction to the car, but I want to kind of show you guys around a little bit. We'll look at the motor, we'll look at the interior, and then I'll give you guys more details as to how much I paid for it and what the plan is for it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this video. Now we'll start with the party trick to the E320 CDI, which is this right here. This is Mercedes's legendary OM648. And again, it's a 3.2 liter turbo, I was gonna say naturally aspirated, turbo diesel inline-6. And as you can already tell, people that know about these motors, yes, it does have a little bit of Black Death on top of it. That's why I really haven't been driving it. So let me kind of explain to you guys what this is. So this thing is nothing crazy. I mean, it's only got 201 horsepower, but it's got like 450 pound-feet of torque. So of course, as a diesel, the torque is what matters for these cars, but it's made it to a regular old 722.6 5-speed trans, nothing wild. But this thing is legendary. These motors, knock on Mercedes aluminum fender, are bulletproof. If you guys know anything about them. I mean, there's a reason that they only made these for 2 years, and it was because it was so good that the US government was like, no, we got to make them worse. So here's this DPF bullshit and whatnot, which is what the 2007, 2008 up E320, GL320, R320 CDI bullshit, V6, OM642 bullshit engine happened. So this car does not have DPF. It does not have all that kind of stuff. It's not restricted. That's why they run forever, because they're not being choked to death by every other system like the newer diesels are. But let me get off that high horse because we could be here all day talking about that. So now, let me kind of explain to you guys what we got to do. So Black Death refers to, the car's got obviously 6 fuel injectors, which are the diesel fuel injectors up top. What happens is they have these little metal parts, and I'll put in a picture here somewhere so you guys can see what they are. These little O-rings go bad and start spewing diesel out, which, case in point, this is exactly what it looks like. So as you can see, it's kind of spewing diesel out. So what it does is it creates this whole thing called Black Death, which is basically all over the motor. It just sprays fuel, or basically diesel evaporation stuff all over it, and it cakes the top of the cylinder head with that BS. And then it's almost impossible to get these injectors out without one of these slide hammer looking things. So thankfully in our case, only one injector is having the issue, but it is nonetheless an issue that needs to get resolved. And I've already purchased this kit that you could buy on FCPR for like 30 bucks. Comes with the new bolts, it comes with all the O-rings and everything. We're gonna do all of them, even though only one's having the issue. I'm gonna replace all of them, or me and my dad will, because you might as well. Now, this car has got 305,000 miles on it, and yes, it's 305,000 miles, which if you speak to a Bulgarian guy, that just means this thing is just barely broken in. That's like 499,000 kilometers. But here it's 305. As soon as it hits the shores of Bulgaria, it's going to be at like 80,000 miles. You know what I mean? So regardless, this thing is a legendary. But let me show you guys the interior on this thing. Now, for the interior on this car, like I said, it does have 305,000 miles. But here's the kicker, you guys. It's a one owner. This is a picture of the Carfax right here. It is a one-owner car, and it says corporate owned, so I'm assuming a company owned this car or something along those lines. That's insane. That's actually amazing. That's crazy. And you can tell, look at how beautiful the passenger seat is. I mean, no wear. The driver's seat is really the only thing that has any wear in here, and of course the steering wheel, because, you know, it's been used. And of course the typical W211 issue with the sun visors where they don't close fully. I got to get new ones of those. But aside from that, everything else works. The radio works, the AC works. It doesn't have heated seats, so it's a complete base model, but everything else in here works. I wish it was more like a maybe a brown interior or something. I don't know how I feel about the gray. I mean, I don't know, it's just boring. It's kind of bland. But whatever. I mean, the back seat, this seat is in immaculate condition. The dash is in really good condition. The headliner in the rear is sagging, which is kind of common for the 211s if they sit in really hot areas. This car is a California car its whole life from LA, so, you know, the sun beat on it for the last 20 years. Makes sense. My E55 has the same issue because my car's also from LA when I bought it. But aside from that, also a little bit here on the center console is a little bit of a, I guess it's worn from, you know, just resting your hand on it. Honestly, who cares? I mean, it works. It's fine. The car's in really, really solid condition. It's just got a few minor things which we'll address, which actually we need to go up front so I can show you guys that. But aside from those minor things, the car mechanically is pretty solid. Also from the, you know, the Black Death that we just talked about. The transmission shifts really well. The Carfax says that it's had numerous services. It just had the oil and the filter in the transmission replaced like 3,000 miles ago. So, I mean, I'm probably not going to touch it. But aside from that, no complaints on the interior. What I might do, and I'm thinking, is if I can find one of these center consoles in the junkyard, I will change it, but I'm not going to actively go out and buy one from eBay or anything. If I just happen to see one at the junkyard, I'll scoop it real quick and buy one. I was at the junkyard earlier, which we'll get to in a second, but I was there earlier and I actually saw one of these. It was the same interior, but it didn't have the console. I mean, it had the bottom part of the console, like the actual structure, but it didn't have like the part that I need. Steering wheel, I don't know if I want to get one of these steering wheels with the, like, the leather, or not the leather, the wood up here. They look pretty nice. Or just go to a facelift steering wheel from like an 07 or 08, because if we're being honest, this is probably one of the ugliest steering wheels Mercedes ever made. And this is a 2005 car, which means I don't have to go through the same struggle I did with the E55 of having to rewire the steering column and all that kind of stuff. All I can do is I just pull this off and put the new steering wheel on from like a 07 or 08 car. So we'll see what happens with that. But regardless of that, the car is solid interior, no issues. I have no plans of changing anything aside from the steering wheel and the visors eventually. That's it. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to put a sound system or anything. It works fine. So let's go ahead and get back outside and I'll show you guys what the damage is. Now, the only damage that this thing really has on the exterior is the bumper down here, as you guys can see. It looks like they probably just hit like a rock or something, or maybe a tire or something. I don't know. But that it's damaged and it needs to be replaced, which, like I said earlier, I'll get to the junkyard part. I went to the junkyard earlier today just to kind of scope out, and I actually found an E320 with it was an E500 Sport, if you guys know what those are. It has an AMG body kit like an E55, and I got the bumper. So I took the bumper off of it. The only downside is it's black, so I got to find somebody to paint it white. This car is painted alabaster white, which is, if you guys know anything about alabaster white, if you say alabaster white with E55 in the same sentence, it's crazy because the E55s in white are super rare, but this is pretty common on these cars. The headlights need to be refinished. They're just kind of faded from the sun, so we'll probably just polish them up. I don't think I'm going to replace them for anything unless I could find like xenons or something. Then perhaps maybe I'll go ahead and jump on that or something along those lines, but these are fine. That one, the low beam is out, so we need to get a low beam bulb from AutoZone or something. Again, not really an issue. And aside from that, the car does need some tires. Now, I want your guys' input on this. Do I just put some tires on this car, or do I go out and I was at the junkyard today and I found two of the rears that I wanted. These are the AMG 18-inch wheels that are on the facelift car, these right here. Do I go out and buy those? I found two at the junkyard, just the two rears. The fronts were gone. Do I buy those and put them on here, or do we just put tires on this thing and daily it? Honestly, like I said, you guys, I really want to make this thing look cool, like, you know, with the AMG bumper and all that kind of stuff. But do I sacrifice the fuel economy and the ride with those 18-inch wheels? Because the car's got factory wheels on it right now, but the tires are from like 2019, so they do need to be replaced at this point because they're also kind of, you know, just faded and dry rotted. Do we go ahead and replace these stock wheels with some AMG looking ones, maybe E55 wheels or something if I get a good deal on them? Or do we just keep these and kind of just use it as what I intended to use it for, which is a daily driver? Let me know some input. Let me know what you guys think. The car's not perfect. It's got some dents. It's got some scratches all over. The rear bumper's kind of messed up too. Am I going to fix any of that? No. I am not going to fix any of those things. I am quite literally going to fix the bumper because it bugs me with the hole in the front, and if I could put an AMG bumper on it, why not? Then that's it. Now you may be asking yourself, did you get the side skirts and the rear bumper from that car? I would have if the idiots at the junkyard hadn't put the car up on, they put them on like these on steel wheels. So when they jack the car up, because, you know, they jack it up so you can get underneath it or get whatever you need to get from it. They put it on steel wheels and they destroyed the side skirts. They were like either caved in, or one of them was just split in half and actually missing half of it. The rear bumper, same thing. They like lowered the car on the bumper in the back, on the bumper guard, and like they destroyed the bumper. So it's all cracked and split in half. So I'm like, you know, it's garbage. I mean, just people that don't care, obviously, because they have no reason to care. But it sucks for people like me that want to get that, because those parts are rare. If you guys know anything about the E500 Sport 211 cars, they're pretty rare, especially with that body kit, because it looks like an E55 just without the M113K motor. Regardless, whatever, you guys. But let me know what you guys want to do. Should we go crazy with this thing and do like full AMG kit, since I am doing the bumper, and then maybe do like xenon headlights, maybe those aftermarket ones? Or do we just keep the E320 CDI stock and let it do its thing? I mean, it's a super clean car. Like I said, 305,000 miles, one owner. I'm technically the second owner of the car, which is awesome. It's just super pretty. I mean, you can't ask for a better thing. Now, yeah, I mean, what more could you ask for? But let's close this video out. Now to, I guess, finish or close this off, what did I pay for this thing? I paid a whopping $800 for this beast right here. Again, avid viewers, if you guys know your CDIs, that's actually pretty cheap for a car like this. These tend to go for like between 5 to 8 grand, depending on the condition, of course, depending on miles. This thing, I could realistically probably sell it. I could actually sell it for like 2 grand right now. I got a guy that said he would buy it for 2 grand on the spot. So I could definitely sell the car. I don't have just 800 into it with shipping, fees, taxes, and everything. I'm probably like 1,700 into it, 1,600, which still, again, considering I don't really have to do anything crazy to the car, like there's no real crazy body mechanical work or anything. I just literally have to do some maintenance on it. Of course, we're gonna do an oil change. I'm gonna flush the motor. I'm gonna do a coolant flush too. All just regular maintenance stuff to keep this thing chugging along for the next 300,000-400,000 miles. My plan is to sell that 210 E300 we have at the house, which is actually fun enough, the same spec, white on gray. Sell that. It's my grandpa's old car. Sell that thing. Sell the other E300 diesel I have in the garage, the silver one you guys remember that I bought with the locked up motor. Sell that one too once my dad gets around to actually doing the bearings. Sell those two and then keep this as like the backup or as my daily driver to go to work. Because if I could fill this thing up with diesel all the way, I could probably go to work for a whole month without having to refuel it. Because they get like, if you've seen them online, they'll regularly get like 30 miles a gallon in the city, easy, if you don't beat on them or anything. Or we could go absolutely nuts and I could put a bigger turbo on it, tune it, make it insane. Because, you know, Eastern European chip tuning on the 1.9 TDI Golfs makes them insane, super fast, destroys Lambos and stuff like that. Kidding, of course, but no, I don't think we're going to go that route. I mean, if I do any modifications, maybe I'll do like a small exhaust modification so we can kind of hear the turbo a little bit more, whistle and everything, but I don't think I'm going to do anything crazy. I mean, this car is great as it is stock. It's reliable. It rides really good. You guys, it's actually insane how the suspension makes 0 creaks on this car. It boggles my mind for 300,000 miles. 0 creaks. It rides well. The transmission shifts smooth. Can't beat it. they can't beat it. Even for 1,500-1,600 bucks, this is an insane car. I mean, again, like I said, it needs some cleanup. I just got to detail it really well. Maybe I'll touch up the paint in the back on the bumper. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe not. But yeah, let me know down below. What do you guys want? What would you like to see with this? I actually, funny enough, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to race my brother's Audi S5 with this and see what happens. I think the Audi's obviously going to be faster, but my brother is not I mean, he knows how to drive manual, but he's not like an expert at driving manual. So it's going to be fun. And this thing actually kind of pulls. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This thing kind of pulls when you get on it. So we got to do all that. By the way, I forgot to mention, in the engine compartment when I showed you guys that, the car does have everything there. As you can see, the covers here and all the other stuff, I just took them off when I was looking at the Black Death. But regardless of that, let me know down below what you guys want to see from the E320 CDI. Like I said, I might sell it. I don't know. As of right now, I want to keep it as a daily because it gets great fuel economy, and it's a really, really nice car, and it's hard to beat these things. So let me know down below what you guys think about this, and thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.